So our first and only guest tonight we have is Annette. I think I said it right. And we're going to have her join right now here with us. She is a breast cancer survivor, and she is also on our social media team. How are you doing, Annette?
Very good. Thank you. Hi.
Am I getting it? I'm getting it right?
Annette. Perfect.
Annette. Annette.
Annette.
Yeah. It's funny because me and Annette have known each other for 10 years. Did we figure out the other day? And she's allowed me to call her Annette this whole time. And there was one social media call that I couldn't make. And afterwards, my teammates were like, "Yeah, you've been saying Annette's name wrong this whole time." And I was like, "Oh no!" And so she just told me a minute ago that it's more common. Obviously, people here in America know the name Annette, and we see that and we just say Annette, but it's Annette, right?
Annette. Annette.
Right. Help me with it, okay? If you hear me do it, just correct me all the time.
Easy.
Good. Yeah, correct me all the time. I want you to.
It's okay. Don't worry.
So the way we met was so cool, and we were just talking about this yesterday, in fact. And I loved how you said it. You said that my mom introduced us because we were at a event with the Dallas Cowboys for a breast cancer organization. This was before Breast Cancer Can Stick It became an official 501c3, and we were going to be part of a team of people, survivors, and family members who were going to make big, giant pink ribbons on the football field at a Dallas Cowboy game. And so Annette was there, and my mom came with me. And when we were down in the box that was on the field, we had these really good like box seats that were like down level with the field. I think you met my mother, and then she brought you over to meet me. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah.
So I love that. So
I was like, who is that cool chick? So yeah.
Thanks, man.
It's our first time we met. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I don't know. And then we just run into each other all the time at a Mötley Crüe concert, on the Coleman Walk, I think.
Yep. We ran into. Yep, we ran into each other at that walk. We also at a couple of Ranger games. Remember Texas Ranger games when they did that? I think they have these email lists that you can get on where breast cancer survivors get invited to do all this cool stuff. And like at that Rangers game, we got to walk around, like parade around the field on the outside track. Yeah, but I remember we sat together. We were like up way high, like on the top balcony there, and I remember being scared that it was far away up. I was like scared of falling. But we're here to talk about your journey through breast cancer, because you have quite a lengthy history of going through breast cancer. I think you were first diagnosed, was it 2008? 2009?
Yeah.
And tell us how this all started for you.
Okay. 2009 in August, we came over from Germany to Texas to live here. And I don't know, I just, like every woman is doing, touching your breast because of, for finding lumps and stuff. So I was just doing that, and I found a little hard spot in my right breast. And I was like, okay, let's wait a little bit. And it didn't go away. So I went to an OBGYN over here in Texas. I was 39 years old. And she said, "Oh, don't worry. It's just a hard tissue, but you're almost 40. Go get a mammogram done." So I went to get a mammogram done. Oh, shoot. My phone fell.
That's okay. That's okay.
I got a mammogram done, and right next to this hard tissue, so my OBGYN, she was right. It was just a hard tissue, but right next to it was a tiny little spot, and they wanted to check it out. So I got a lumpectomy done, and it came back as DCIS, ductal carcinoma in situ. That means the cancer cells are were in my milk ducts, not spreaded. So that was the good thing. but they wanted to do another lumpectomy to cut more tissue out. So I had 2 lumpectomies, then went to 6-week radiation, and I took for 3 years tamoxifen. Everything was fine.
How was that radiation? Was that difficult, or what do you remember about going through the radiation treatment?
That was every day for 6 weeks, besides the weekends. Yeah, your skin is starting to burn. So it's going to be red and you get blisters and it's really painful. So yeah, they give you that cream, but you can't really do anything about it.
Does it feel like a really bad sunburn and it turns red?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's very sensitive and it's red and you get blisters. You can't wear anything over it, it's just not nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after I got my radiation done, I started with tamoxifen, and I was going to get my mammograms done every half year. Everything was fine, and the years went by, and I was doing good. And in June 2015, I went to get my yearly mammogram done, and they found another little spot in the right breast, in the same breast again. And I was like, okay, they found something again. If that is cancer, again, I'm going to do a mastectomy. So I went to go get biopsy. I don't know, it's like they stick a needle inside your breast and take some tissue out, and that they took 9 little pieces out of mine, and it came back as IDC, invasive ductal carcinoma, stage 2. So I was like, okay, I'm done with that cancer. I'm done with my breasts. I want it taken off. And I think, April, I talked to you about it. I don't know if you remember how it is if you don't do a reconstruction, how to go flat, and how it is to have a reconstruction. And you said, I really can't help you because you got to decide it by yourself. And for yourself, you decided that you are having no reconstruction. And I was like, okay, I got to think about it. And then I decided to get a reconstruction.
Yes, yes. The point of that whole thing is just like we're talking about, is it's such a personal decision of, if you want to do reconstruction or not, and everybody has to make that decision on their own. So yeah.
I remember that you said, hey girl, I really can't help you. You need to make your own decision. And I was like, okay, can I see myself without a breast, or so I decided for a reconstruction. So I got diagnosed in June 2015 with the IDC stage 2, and in August I got my right breast taken off as a mastectomy with a latissimus dorsi flap reconstruction. I had to do that because my right breast was the skin was so weak because of the radiation. They couldn't just put they couldn't do a normal reconstruction with that breast. So they had to take out of my back a part of my latissimus muscle and build me a new breast in the front. So it sounds kind of weird, but that's how it was.
It sounds painful.
Oh my God.
Was it painful?
It's like it was I think 6-hour surgery for just that one side. They pull a little piece of that muscle through under your arm through to the
Does that? So I just envisioned, they just cut it out and then just put it up front. No, they actually pull it around. Oh my gosh!
They cut a little piece and they pull it around under your armpit and to the front. I mean, I can show you one of these days.
Wow. Yeah.
when we are alone, and they built a new breast right here. So it's amazing, you know.
Wow.
So yeah,
yeah.
They put the expander in, and after that, I was only 5 days in the hospital, I think, and my back had a big scar. My front had a scar, so I did not know how to lay, you know, in bed. I mean, it was I think a 3 months, sag mal denn,
like
healing.
recovery. Yeah, recovery.
Healing,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I feel better. I could
Wow.
not take showers. I had 8 drains in. I
Oh
could not
gosh.
shower.
8
Oh my God.
drains?
Yeah.
Because I remember whenever I had my double mastectomy, I had 2 drains in, but you had 8
No.
drains because you
Yes.
had it in did you
My
have
back.
some in your back and
Yeah, back and
wow.
front and everywhere. And they did not come out until I think the 32 days. Then they came out. And
Oh
I
my
could shower
gosh.
again.
Wow, because I think if you remember, like whenever I had drains in for my double mastectomy, I only
Yeah.
had them in for like 3 days. Like I got them out before I even left the hospital.
Oh no, I had to go home, and I had to go every 3rd day to my plastic surgeon just to make sure everything is fine, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, somehow my phone is moving.
It's okay. You're fine. It makes it exciting.
And after that, I decided for prevention to take off my left breast too, because I had 6 years in between my 2 diagnoses. I was like, I can't handle that, you know, like I'm cancer free another 6 years, and then they say, okay, now I have cancer in the left side. So I decided to take my left healthy breast off for prevention, and that happened in December 2015. And after that, I got all the reconstruction done and plastic surgeries. In altogether, I had 7 surgeries.
Wow. So when you had the left breast removed, how long did it take? How long was your recovery for that? Did they have to take muscle from your back on that one too?
No, that was just easy. They just took it
was
off
a lot
and
easier.
put expander in and fill it up with water, with salt water every 2 weeks or something. And then they take the expanders out and put that gummy bear silicone pad in.
Wow. And so how often do you have to go for revision surgery?
I had 5. I had five surgeries. Yeah.
But you have, I understand with reconstruction, don't you have to go in and have revision done like every few years?
Revision means getting new silicone in it?
Yeah, or some kind of kind of a revision or something. No? Okay.
My plastic surgeon made sure that my silicone pads, they last at least 30 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So no, and everything is fine so far, you know.
Yeah. So do you have any feeling at all in either chest, in either one of your breasts?
I think for a few years, I did not feel my right back. But now when somebody's touching it, you know, I can feel it again. And I have feeling in the front. I did not lose that feeling.
That's so cool. You're like literally the first person I've talked to that didn't lose the feeling in their breasts. I wonder what the difference is, why some people lose that feeling and some people don't. Because like I don't have any feeling in the front of my chest at all.
No,
so
that never went away. But my back, you know, because they had to cut all those nerves and everything, and my plastic surgeon said it might comes back, it might won't. But after years, I can feel my back, but I cannot move to the right. It makes it hard, you know, driving, turning around to the right is a little bit hard. But I'm doing a lot of yoga and stuff, so that helps.
You've always been and kept yourself in really great shape. Do you feel like some of the reason that you do that is it for to reduce your risk of breast cancer, or just to be healthy overall, or what?
Not really. The only thing I stopped was smoking. I mean, I was not a heavy smoker, but I smoked maybe 4 or 5 cigarettes a day. But when I had my first diagnosis in 2009, I was like, no, I stopped smoking, and did cold turkey. So and never felt a cigarette again. But like eating, I mean, I eat what I want, you know. I don't really care.
I've just always noticed that you've always been in great shape and always been, looked very healthy and seemingly eat healthy. I think you grow some of your own vegetables and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I have my vegetable garden, and I mean, I eat healthy, but if I want to eat ice cream or chocolate, I eat it, you know. So, because I think the cancer, I don't think the cancer comes through the food. I think it's more like emotional stuff and mental stuff. I don't know.
I know what you're saying.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think you can prevent cancer eating when you eat healthy. I don't think so. Because remember, I did 2 years that raw vegan stuff, and then I got my second diagnosis. I was like, so that's not right.
Yeah, I think it is so true that like sometimes you're just predisposed and you're just gonna get it. I know that I know that for certain types of breast cancer, like I know with triple negative breast cancer, they say a low fat diet can help prevent recurrence, but that's for triple negative. But you didn't have triple negative breast cancer, right?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So how are you? Are you on tamoxifen now, or are you on any medication now?
No, nothing. I don't take any meds. I'm not a fan of taking medicine. So,
and when you were when you were diagnosed in 2015, were you still here in Texas? You were, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I went through everything. My 2 diagnoses in Texas. We left 2017, going back to Germany. And then we came back in last year. What was last year? 2020.
Yeah. I got you. So Texas is probably the problem there. I'm just kidding.
Don't say it.
I'm kidding. No. Well,
it's the heat.
It's the heat. Yeah, no, we're totally good. I'm going to read a couple of comments. People are really responding to you
I think my daughter, daughter is
Brittany.
right there too.
Yes. I'm going to read you some of the comments that are coming through. So Max says, and I'm working really hard on your name, and I want to make sure I'm saying it right. So please correct me if I don't. So, Annette.
Perfect.
Annette.
Perfect. Annette.
Okay, Annette. Yeah. Okay, Brittany says, me mommy. Is that right?
My mommy. Yeah.
My mommy, got you. And then Max says that you are so sweet. And Mandy says, hi, Annette. And Annette.
Miss you, Mandy.
Great to see you. Yes, you guys. I love that you guys connected so much through Breast Cancer Can Stick It. Cheryl Parker Goodson says, hi, Annette. Mandy says, Annette is a 2-time survivor, and she has like the little muscle thing happening. And then your daughter says, love you, mama. You are the best. I'm so proud of you. And then Lisa Hoffman says, my heart goes out to you, both courageous women. We love you, Lisa. Thank you. Sean, who is part of our Drumathon logistics team, is here, and he says, wow, Annette, thank you for sharing your personal story with us. Glad you are a survivor and that you continue your journey with Breast Cancer Can Stick It. Prayers always for you, continued recovery and healing.
Thank you, guys.
And then Max, when you were talking about having your feeling in your chest, which is so amazing, Max commented and said that was a great surgeon that you had. And
the best.
Yeah. And Sean is referring to when we were talking about the decision to reconstruct or not. He said, I didn't realize as a man, obviously, that there was such a huge decision whether to have reconstruction or not. Does the possibility of cancer returning if you choose reconstruction? I'm going to keep reading this and I'll respond to that. He says, I'm asking because these things perplex me as a male, and you just can't come out and ask women without coming across rude or stupid. Sean, first of all, everybody who's watching right now, there is no question that's stupid. This is a really great platform for folks to share information, and we love to be able to share experiences like Annette's experience, so that more people can learn how this is for them, and understand how it is for breast cancer survivors. And more importantly, people who are new going through breast cancer, we want to give them hope and encouragement and let them know that they're not alone. But to answer your question, you were asking, Sean, if there is a possibility of cancer returning if you do choose reconstruction. I think I've asked, go ahead, Annette.
It's always 1%. It doesn't matter if you decide to get a reconstruction or no reconstruction. There's always 1% to say it can come back.
In your breast is what you mean?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter in your chest if you are flat or if you have your silicone in there. It doesn't matter.
Got you.
That's what they told me.
That's what they told me. Got you. Yeah, yeah. I understand. Cool. So that was a good question, Sean. Thanks for posting that in there. And Max says, no shame in trying to educate ourselves, but it can be awkward when discussing something so personal. And Sean said there's truth to that. So it's very good to have these conversations. And that's why I love to have folks on this show that are breast cancer survivors, because every single story is different. Like I said, you told me that you had reconstruction and you can feel your chest, and you're the first person I've heard that can. And now, when you did your mastectomy, did you have any other treatment? You didn't do any chemotherapy or anything?
Oh no! Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. They took 18 lymph nodes out of my right side, also your armpit, and all the lymph nodes were clear. So I decided against a chemo because everything was clear. I was like, no, I'm not putting any more poison in my body. So yeah.
Yep, and that's that's the thing is so good as anybody going through breast cancer, you're in control and you're in charge, and you can make the decisions for yourself as to how you want to handle your breast cancer. If you want to, a lot of times the doctors will give you options. They'll give you their recommendations and things like that, and then you can discuss with your medical team what they think is best for you, and then you can make your decision and make an informed decision. And it's certainly totally your decision to do that, and you seem to be doing great, and it's been 8 years since then and cruising along.
Yep, and hopefully many more.
Yeah. Well, and I'm so glad that you're back because I had been wanting to have you on the show for some time, and we had talked when you were in Germany about having you on the show, and we were trying to figure it out, and you were like, that's going to be like 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning or something. Like we were trying to figure it out. And I was like, man, I was like, I wanted to have you on so bad, but we were like, the time difference was just impossible. So we're so happy to have you back and in the area. And I hope you'll be able to make it to Drumathon this year, because we want to get you up on the stage with us and all the survivors that'll be up on stage. Drumathon at Grandscape on October the 22nd. It'd be great to have you there.
I'm planning on it, but I'm very far out in the in nowhere land in the country, so it's a long drive up to Dallas. But I'm planning.
That's great. Well, we have hotel discounts, so you can get yourself a hotel right across the street from the venue.
I have so many animals, I can't leave them alone.
That's true. You had one of your cats on last night when we were chatting, I noticed.
Yeah, the other one is sitting right there looking at me.
They're all keeping an eye on you. I got a couple of other comments here I'm going to read, Annette. Carolyn says, Carolyn says, there seems to be, Carolyn says, I'm a 2 times breast cancer survivor. I had a double mastectomy without reconstruction. My doctor told me they cannot remove 100% of the breast tissue, and that is why it could return. But you're right. It's a very, very low number. Thank you for that, Carolyn, for that feedback. And Max says, there seems to be so many options and treatments for all the various forms of cancer. Always ask questions. Each case has its pros and cons. Oh yeah, Max says someone has to watch the chickens if you're gone. That's so funny. But yeah, it's true. So I remember when I was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer, they gave me this array of options to choose from. I called them packages at the time. Which package deal did I want for my breast cancer treatment? They had everything from, just doing a lumpectomy and that's it, to doing a double mastectomy with chemo, and that being the most aggressive way to go, and that's what I chose to do, just simply because it was triple negative breast cancer, which is a more aggressive and rare form of breast cancer. And so but it's important to know all your options. Also, if you have any concerns about your medical team, to get a second opinion. That's never bad either. Just always make sure whatever you're doing with your health, regardless of if it's breast
Yeah.
cancer related or anything, that you have a
Yeah.
trusted medical team that you have
Yeah.
faith in, that you can trust their opinion. I think it's so
Yeah.
important. Cool.
It's very important.
Well, in
Yeah.
closing, Annette,
Mhm.
I'm working on that name so hard.
You're
I
doing
know
great. You're
I'm doing great. She
great.
says I'm doing good, guys. Do you have anything that you'd like to share with everybody who's watching, that you would say something that was good that came out of going through breast cancer for you?
Yeah, it's cancer opened my eyes for just loving little stuff, the sunrise or the flowers on the side of the road. And I'm not stressing out that quick anymore. I'm more relaxed, and I think I enjoy my life much more now, all those years.
Yeah, I
And
think.
and when you have a really bad disease, sickness like cancer or something else, you really find out who your real friends are. That's another thing, and all the other friends who are friends, they're not sticking with you. So I got all of them deleted, or I'm not seeing them anymore. So it was a good thing too, It's just a tiny little part of friends I have left, but those are really good friends. Yeah. And
Yeah.
if I wouldn't have had cancer, breast cancer, I would never met you, I think. And
Oh,
that's very positive for me too. And then you're part of my life, and breast cancer can stick. It is part of my life since 2013, when we met at the Cowboy Stadium with your sweet mom. And yeah, that's the good thing.
well, that's how I feel the same way, girl. Like, there was just something about you when we first met, and it was like, I guess we're just gonna be friends forever, because yeah, like you said, we just kept running into each other. It was like
Yeah.
meant to be,
Yeah,
and now
exactly.
with you back in Texas, and getting involved with the charity and helping with our social media and doing such a fantastic job. I'm just so thankful to have you involved in that way, and to get to see and talk to you more frequently, and to,
Mm.
put our passion together for fighting this disease for other folks out there,
Yeah,
That's
always
so
here.
cool. Yeah.
Always here to help.
Thank you, hon. I got another question here. I just saw that Mandy popped in. She said, when you were diagnosed, how did you go about finding the right doctor for you?
Mm. Oh, I mean, the first diagnosis, I was really new to Texas. We just were here for a month in 2009. I just felt great with my breast surgeon, with the hospital, and I also chose the same breast surgeon for my second time having cancer. For the first time, I did not need a plastic surgeon because I only had lumpectomies. But for the second time, I had the same breast surgeon who did my lumpectomies. She did my mastectomies too. And then I had a really good plastic surgeon. And I just felt good with them, So, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I remember whenever I was looking for an oncologist, I just kept having people in my life recommending Dr. O'Shaughnessy, just from different areas in my life, and I was like, well,
Yeah.
I can't ignore this. This is like, it's something is driving me towards her. And
Yeah.
when I met her, I knew right away that I wanted her to be my doctor. But like we were saying earlier, it's just so important to have a medical team that you have faith in and that you trust, that you respect their opinions, and value their advice,
Mm.
and that helps carry you through the treatment.
Yeah.
Another person here, Cheryl, who's one of our volunteers, she said that I've learned through this organization that breast cancer survivors are the strongest people I know. God bless. So cool. Thank you, Cheryl, for that.
Thank you.
She said, thank you for sharing too. All right, girl. I know so we're a little bit over in time, but I'm so glad you could join tonight, Annette, and we're going to be talking more and more. Does that a little weird?
So sweet.
I'm gonna get it to where it doesn't sound so jumbly, and then it's just gonna flow off a lot.
Okay. Annette. Perfect.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Oh, here we got one more comment from Mandy. She says, I remember when you were going through all of that and how strong you were throughout all of it. You shared your story and were so inspiring. That's from Mandy.
Thank you.
I know. I can't wait to see. Have you seen Mandy since you got back in town?
No.
Well, hopefully you guys will have a little bit of a reunion over at Drumathon if you're able to make it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, girl. Well, thank you so much for joining this evening. I love you, and I will talk to you soon when we get on our social media calls. Okay. Love you, girl.
Love you all.
Take care.
Take care. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody, give it up for Annette. I will get it right. I promise. So she, again, we met back in 2013, and it's so cool to still be in touch with her and have her as a part of the breast cancer community.